Hello and welcome to Mitchell's World. And today I want to talk about my favorite Marvel comic book character of all time, the Black Knight. And as you can see, I have quite the collection here on my shelf, and before I talk any more about it, let's begin. Let's start with the shelf behind me. So I have a variety of different items, which includes the HeroClix collection, which is a game I know nothing about, but it has the Black Knight, so you know I'm about to buy it. So I got all those, I believe every single one, in that game, along with multiple different cards, one of which is signed by the original artist, which I was super hyped to get. And I have different variations of the action figures, one of which I bought as soon as it came out. The other one, I didn't even know the Black Knight existed yet, so I waited to get that one, obviously. And I have the Joe Manelli kind of history. It's not a comic, but it's like a magazine. And Joe Manelli is original artists that created the original Sir Percy Black Knight with Stan Lee, along with the Black Knight first appearance of Dane Whitman as Black Knight, I should clarify, which is one of my prized possessions in my comic collection. Now you might be thinking, that's an okay collection, but for the biggest Black Knight fan ever, you gotta step it up a little bit, right? Boom. Now I got just a little bit of comics for you that have
got a little more here right there.
Oh yeah, that's right. We got some CGCs. You can't forget some of these, right? Some really amazing.
You got one more.
Yep, we got that one.
You got this one too, right there.
Oh, that was expensive. All right, so.
Wait, hold on, you're not done. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not done?
Of course you can.
Oh yeah, you can't forget our boy. All right, now let's start with some of the CGCs. So I have the #1 Black Knight for the 2015 comic, which I have read all of those books, and they are very entertaining. Actually, those are probably my favorite books to read from the Black Knight, to be honest with you, along with Black Knight versus Bloodwraith in the Avengers. Very hyped to get that, considering that I have 2 other versions of that, and one of which is still in the original packaging, which is really awesome. And I have this, which is very relevant to the movie coming up with the Eternals, since this is the first appearance of the romantic relationship between the Black Knight and Cersei, which is really awesome. And boom, you obviously have to have an entire cover devoted to the Black Knight if you're going to have a Black Knight collection, let's be real.
Black Knight!
Alright, so let's get into some of my comics here. Now this one, I believe not to be a very particular important issue, but it was the first comic I have ever bought. And obviously you have the Black Knight there, which I believe in this issue, he led the Avengers, and he did for some time. And I was just so curious about that character, and no one knew about him, and it kind of spurred my love of the Black Knight. Now, I'm going to move on to the first ever appearance of Dane Whitman. Not as the Black Knight, but just Dane Whitman, and it's very confusing since there's just Magneto, Scarlet Witch, and Quicksilver on the cover, and no Dane Whitman, but he's in there. And I have even some full collections of some series he was involved in, which you gotta have some of these, especially if you're collecting a specific character. If you don't have the complete stuff, it's kind of a bummer. And I have other iterations of the Black Knight, such as in the Black Panther comic, and other appearances of him in other comics, such as Black Panther and
Vengeance.
Okay, so I was gonna say this later, but I have Vengeance #1, which is the first appearance of the female Black Knight, which they did nothing with, and has been stuck in CGC for like what, a year?
A year and a half, probably.
A year and a half. I would have loved to have that thing just right here, but you know what? It's fine. I'm not hurt. A little bit hurt, but this is a reprint, but is a reprint of the first ever appearance of the Black Knight at all in Marvel. Well, Atlas Comics, but turned into Marvel. But I mean, this. If I had the legit one of this, my collection would. I wouldn't need to collect anymore. Game over. But I also have many variations and variants, such as this, which is a different variant, which is really awesome. It's like the action figure variant. I have many others, and I'm not going to go through everything because I'd be here for a long time. But this is one of my prized comics, which is the 5th ever appearance of Sir Percy's Black Knight, which actually is behind me right here. Joe Maneely drew that Black Knight, and I kind of couldn't believe that I got that one. As well as many different signature copies of Black Knight comics, and another Walmart variant, or the only Walmart variant, I should specify, and just so many more that I just can't go through. Now, among the many iterations of the Black Knight, I also have the first appearance of the evil Black Knight, which kind of led to the trend of the newer comics where he's kind of fighting with that good and evil aspect of himself. Now, let's get to the piece de resistance, the Black Knight bust, which is gorgeous, and they have multiple variants. Unfortunately, I only have one, but it's the blue cape, which I believe is one of the rarest, and I mean, it's just gorgeous. Just look at this thing. Now, you might be saying, sure, you've got the first comic you ever got had the Black Knight in it, and you learned about him, cool, but what makes him such a great comic book character? Well, I'll tell you. He not only led the Avengers, but he withstood his own against the likes of Captain America and Thor, among many other feats, such as withstanding the Ebony Blade's curse, which Captain America succumbed to within like a minute. So, I mean, he's got so much merits. But I have to add this. To whoever's making the newer comics for the Black Knight, spoilers, please don't kill him every issue. Like, every issue, he gets his head blown off, man. He gets stabbed with a dagger and that somehow cuts his head off. Like, what?
Tis but a scratch.
I'm leaving. I'm walking out. Also, November, Eternals, he's going to be in that movie, so get hyped.